So I played the Sicilian for the first time in this series, maybe the second time, and I faced a3 on move 2, which is called the Mangarini variation. I did not know that coming into the game. I knew the Mangarini variation existed, but I had just been connecting it with the wing gambit, sort of preparing the wing gambit. I had no idea what was going on. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know the theory. I improvised, and well, the rest you can see in the game. I have to say, this idea of playing exciting openings, I don't know, feels good. I hope you enjoy the game. And please excuse the camera during the game, because at some point the sun shone directly at the camera and it seemed like I was in some sort of heaven. So excuse that. Let's go to the game. Oh yeah, and before I forget, before I go inside, I'm gonna show you my new chestnut premium pieces that I got just yesterday. Last month I got my Chestnut Pro. You could have seen that review. It was the Chestnut Pro with regular pieces, the best tournament-sized chessboard. And now I got the premium pieces. These you can see on the screen are the premium pieces which were unavailable when I got my board. Compared to these regular ones, they are heavier, better hand-carved, and the design is more complex. I'm not sure that's a better thing. As you can see here, the knights are completely extravagant. The other pieces are less flamboyant, let's call it that. But the premium pieces definitely do feel like they came from an expensive antique store. The features are all the same as with the Chestnut Pro. You can, as you could have seen in that review I made a month ago, you can play against bots, engines, you can play online on Lichess, chess.com. Here I'm playing against Stockfish on level 9, and you know, you're going to see the rest of the game. So they came in a box just like the Chestnut Pro, well packed, well designed, everything was safe, nothing was damaged, and they work flawlessly, just like the regular pieces, which is to be expected. The only difference, as you can see here now while I'm unboxing, is the design and the quality. And if you feel like that's something that's important to you, then by all means get the premium pieces. I enjoyed playing with both sets. I have to say the only big difference maker for me is the weight of the pieces, and the premium pieces are, you know, weightier. They weigh more. So I like that. I have to say the knights are a bit too much for me. Perhaps a bit distracting because of their size, but they aren't too distracting. And the radius of the pieces, as you can see here in the bird view, is just fine. They feel well in your hand. And all in all, I think it's a good upgrade to the regular set. That being said, the regulars, you can do whatever you want with the regular set and the Chestnut Pro. So once again, the Chestnut Pro is an amazing board. As you may know, I'm a tournament player first and foremost. I do all my training on actual boards, so this is important to me. If you want to check out Chestnut Pro, follow the link in the description. As I said, there are two variants. With the premium chess pieces, it costs 727 US when you use the code chestnut, but if you do decide to purchase it, you can also use the code hanging pawns to get a bigger discount. So when you go to checkout, you can add a coupon hanging pawns, apply that, and it's going to be a massive difference of 141 in my case euros. So the Chestnut Pro, whether you get it with the regular or the premium pieces, is an amazing board, and the design is great, it feels great, it works perfectly. Now on Lichess I played a couple of games. I never had the board not recognize what was going on. So the user experience is flawless, and what's most important for me, this is what I do. The guy in the picture is what I do. I like to train on tournament-sized boards. I like to play on tournament-sized boards. I like to recreate tournament conditions when I play chess. So anything other than standard tournament-sized doesn't do it for me. So the Chestnut Pro is definitely the board I'm going to be using when training and playing chess. It is expensive, that's true, but it's the best out there. So if you want the best, you have to pay for that. Now let's go to my Sicilian Mengarini game. Thank you guys for watching. Hi everyone, Stjepan here. Welcome to game 102. We are playing Crest 6428. Okay, let's continue our aggressive repertoire and play the Sicilian. Okay, how is this fair? My first Sicilian in this series and they play a3. Okay, so this is going to be the wing gambit or the delayed wing gambit, whatever. So they want to go b4. I'm going to be completely honest and say that I don't know the theory here. So their idea must be to go b4, and if I take twice, there's some trouble with d4. However, I still feel like knight c6 is the best move. I'm gonna have to learn this. There's no other way to go about it. Now, am I losing if I take twice? That's the issue. Okay, so takes, d4. My knight could end up where? Well, I could go d5. I mean, I'm gonna play the critical line. I'm gonna play what feels like the critical line to me. So I'm gonna take the pawn. I don't know what I'm doing. So take d4, d5. Take d4, d5. Takes, knight c3. Queen d8. Yeah, then there's still d5. Oh my god. Wow, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm gonna take the pawn. I feel like I can survive after d4. I'm gonna go d5. And if they go c3, I'm gonna go knight c6. Maybe this is just losing, but I don't see why it would be losing. So, you know, maybe there is c3. Okay, so d5, c3, knight c6, takes, knight c3. Okay, so I'm definitely running into d5, d4. d5, sorry, d5 and bishop b5. Man, I want to go d5 here. d5, c3, knight c6. I feel like d5 has to be played, so I'm going to play it. I'm expecting c3. At least when the bishop comes to b5, my queen can stay somewhere on the... Okay, do I play knight a6 and give the pawn back? So if knight a6, then bishop a6 takes. That seems fine. I have queen d7 in the end. If knight a6, ed, queen takes, that also seems fine. Knight c6, ed, queen takes. There is no knight c3. What am I talking about? And maybe my opponent can go queen b3 on knight c6. Okay, I'm playing knight c6. Wow, I'm so scared. I'm so incredibly scared I cannot begin to explain how playing openings I don't know makes me feel uncomfortable. Okay, I take this, obviously. I don't know what else. So, you know, takes. I'm not losing. Am I losing? I'm not losing. So there is knight b5, knight c7. That much is clear. I could parry that with bishop d6. There's also bishop c4, and there is knight c4, knight b6. Wow, I could just be losing. Okay, so let's do them one by one. If we lose this game, that's fine. We are learning. So e6, knight c4. I have to go queen d8. e6, bishop c4, queen d8 or queen e4. E6, knight b5, bishop d6, c4, queen e4 check. Okay, that seems fine. I think I'm handling all the tricks. If my opponent doesn't do anything, I'm just taking the knight. If bishop c4, I can play queen e4 and bishop a3. Oof. My heart rate must be 120 now. I'm a coward in chess. I like to feel safe, and the reason I'm playing openings, I don't know. Okay, I was hoping to get a normal Sicilian. I have not expected a3. I would know what to do against b4, but not what to do against a3, b4. Yeah, and the reason I'm comfortable with my repertoire is because I'm programmed in a way that, you know, I want to know what's going on in life and in chess. And in chess especially, I hate not knowing what's going on. I may have stumbled into theory, I may have played a good line, I have no idea. I'm going to be perfectly honest, I have no idea whether this is good for black or not. Or good for black, whether this is, you know, the way to go about fighting this gambit. So the critical moves are knight c4, knight b5, bishop c4, the way I see it. Now I'm not afraid of bishop c4 because of queen e4 check and bishop a3. I'm afraid of knight b5, but I believe I can get away with bishop d6. Yeah. Okay, so bishop d6. If knight takes, then queen takes. If c4, then queen e4 check, followed by bishop b8. Seems fine. So I definitely have to play bishop d6. I don't see an alternative to this. If queen b3, then queen e4 check. If bishop c4, then queen e4 check, followed by bishop b8. All I have to do is guard the c7 square. If bishop f4, I can take it, and I'm still on c7. Okay, c4, queen e4 check, forced. Seems forced. Okay, this is a bad move. Now I have bishop b4. Wait a minute. Do I play bishop b4? Or bishop b8? So on bishop b4, my opponent has to go king e2. Am I wrong? Bishop b4 check. I don't see an alternative to king e2. Then I'm hanging knight c7. But couldn't I just go king f8? So I have bishop b4, I also have bishop f4. Okay, candidates. I have to speed up. Bishop b4 check, bishop f4, bishop b8, what else? I like bishop b4 check. Bishop b4 check, king e2, king f8. If knight e7, then, you know, nothing's going on. And I can just continue developing. Yeah, I'm playing bishop b4. I can go king f8 next. Okay, do I have to go king f8? I feel like I do have to go king f8. Now at least my opponent isn't going to have an easy time developing the light squared bishop. And if d5 I have queen if d5 I have queen takes c4, that's the key benefit of having my queen on e4. And my next two moves are going to be knight f6 and knight g4. Preventing f3. If my opponent plays f3, what do? f3 is slightly worrying. But I do have queen h4, queen e7. Okay, f3. I'm playing queen h4. I don't think there's any reason not to play queen h4. Because this way my queen is coming back to e7, controlling these two squares, and my bishop is free to move. Oof. Okay, I'm happy to see this. Queen e7, guarding c7. Also, d5 is much harder to play now because of takes, takes, and bishop c5. And I'm on the bishop. And if my opponent tries c5, I'm playing e5. And on d5, bishop c5. And then takes on c6. I mean, it's a piece sacrifice, but Okay, the thing I like a lot is that my opponent's pieces are not coming out. I may even play knight h6, although I doubt it. Okay, I caught up on time. That's good. My opponent needs to play something like king f2 probably to develop the pieces. And my long-term advantage is, of course, my passed a-pawn. Wait a minute, takes bishop c5? Why wouldn't that work? Takes if queen takes bishop e6, takes if pawn takes bishop c5. Yeah, I don't think this is good. In fact, I think this is close to losing. Unless I'd miscalculated something. Queen d3 only move, or queen d2? Yeah, this is awful. I think I'm winning now. I could be wrong, but I thought that d5 didn't work precisely because of this, and I still think it doesn't work. There's no rook a3, you simply have to exchange everything. So takes, knight b4. Is knight b4 good? Maybe knight b4 isn't good. Knight b4. I can go knight b4 now and just win the pawn. Wow. Knight b4, queen e4 takes, pawn takes. Wait, do I go knight b4 now? Or do I exchange first? Knight b4, queen e4 is the only move I can see. And then knight takes d5. If queen takes d5, then queen e3. If queen takes e7, then bishop e7. If bishop takes c5, then queen takes c5. Doesn't that just work? Okay, knight b4, queen e4. Oh, knight b4, queen e4, knight d5. There is bishop takes c5. What if I play bishop f5 now? So bishop f5, queen f5, queen e3, king d1 only move, and then queen b3 check, picking up the knight? Oh man, that's... No, not picking up the knight. Because there's bishop takes b5. Oh, there are so many tempting moves. Bishop f5 check, bishop f5. Either queen d2 or queen f5 or queen c3. So bishop f5, queen f5, that's the critical line. Queen e3 check, king d1. Queen b3 check. On king e2, I have queen b2. On king d2, I have bishop b4. Oh, I'm very tempted to play bishop f5. Okay, I'm playing bishop f5. This seems to work. I think my opponent should have gone queen d2 to prevent this tempo. Also, if the king steps back to the e-file, I'll have rook e8. Okay, now we have successfully developed our bishop. And can we proceed with something aggressive other than bishop d3 or queen d3? Well, I doubt that. Well, actually, we have rook e8. What? Rook e8? Rook e8. If queen c5, then that loses the queen. If rook a3, I take. Rook e8, is that it? Am I just winning? Rook e8, rook e8, rook e8. dc6 is a move, but takes. Yeah, okay, rook e8 is winning. Because queen c5 is not playable. The bishop is still pinned now because of the rook. Come on! We're gonna win this weird gambit game. Yeah, I think we're just winning now. I don't see a way to defend the bishop. Yeah, bishop f5 was a good move because it prevented queen e4. Yeah, and playing bishop b4 check was a good decision because the king got stuck in the center. Maybe I played well. I don't know. We're gonna see. I definitely converted well. It feels that way. I don't think I made any mistakes after bishop b4 check. And then maybe what I did before that was also good. This is just busted. White is losing material here. Because if takes on c6, then I play bishop e3, and on queen e3 I just move my queen. I don't recapture. And then white's losing the queen. I don't see a way out. I mean, white should resign. I don't think there's a solution to this. So I'm basically playing queen, rook, two bishops, and the knight versus queen, knight, and bishop. So I'm up a rook and bishop in this position because my opponent's pieces are all, well, okay, like this. Ben Feingold would say this is no good. Okay, so does this change anything? Can I just play BC? Or do I take the bishop? Yeah, I think I just take the bishop and then move my queen. Wait, let's not be hasty. Is there any benefit to playing BC? No, because then my opponent would have knight d4. So bishop e3. If not queen e3, then what? I don't know. So queen e3 seems forced. And then I just move my queen. To, let's say, f6, attacking the rook and attacking the queen. So takes, takes, takes. Ooh, my opponent could queen the b pawn. I have to be careful. So bishop e3, queen e3. I could go queen d8. I don't have to go queen d6. Queen f6. Yeah, okay, this feels correct. I mean, yeah, the bishop has to be taken. If the bishop is not taken, I play bishop d4. Come on! Okay, let's analyze. Yes! Someone says in the chat this is a game between two maniacs. Maybe 19 moves. Come on. Okay. First of all, let me expand this. Whoa. What's wrong with the camera? I'm sorry. I look like some deity. The sun is going into the camera? What? Excuse me. I didn't see this. Whoa. Sorry about that. The sun is shining through the window. Let's let's expand this. Okay. So, first of all, this is called Mengarini. Let's have a look at... Okay, so I had one inaccuracy and one mistake. 23 average centipawn loss, so probably I played well. Okay, so on a3, most people play g6. I did not know that. Let's turn on the engine as well. Knight c6, b4, cb4, ab4, knight b4 is correct. Okay. d4, d5. That much I understood. I have to play d5. I was expecting c3 and I played knight c6. E d5, queen d5. Okay, so now, okay, knight a3 and white wins most of the games. e6 was a mistake. Apparently no one plays e6. Why not? Oh, the best move is queen a5. That does make sense. That does make sense, because I'm pinning the c-pawn, threatening to take, and preventing any knight moves. Okay, but I played e6. Wow, okay. White is winning. That's discouraging. Okay, knight b5. Bishop d6, completely losing. No! How? Okay, so can someone explain to me how white is +3 and they made no blunders? This makes no sense. This Lichess thing doesn't work. So wait, what was the e6 was the mistake, and bishop d6 was an inaccuracy, and then it goes from 1.4 to +3. Okay, and white played c4. White could have beaten me with queen g4 apparently. And I have no way of defending my pawn. If I go g6, then bishop c4. Yeah, the point behind queen g4 is to prevent queen e4 check. Okay, that makes sense. So c4, now I have queen e4 check, which was a mistake. And then bishop e3. Okay, now from here on I think I played perfectly. Bishop b4 makes sense. King f8 makes sense. Queen h4 seems to be the only move. Queen e7, bringing the queen home, seems to be the only move. E d5 and bishop c5. Okay, the engine plays knight h6. I don't understand what's wrong with bishop c5. Okay, yeah, queen d3 is completely losing. Knight b4 works. I was looking at knight b4, but I was slightly worried about queen e4. But apparently there's nothing to be worried about. Yeah. Okay, but bishop f5 is good enough. Bishop f5 and rook e8, and this is resigns. Yeah, there are no moves here. If you take, I just move my queen somewhere. Wait, I move my queen? What am I saying? The queen is hanging. What's... For some reason I thought that the queen was defended sufficiently and that I would just move my queen and then take the queen. But I just take. Jesus. Okay, this was stupid. So apparently I was losing in the opening. And this apparently is not called the wing gambit. So I know b4. I don't know a3, b4. So I'm going to make a video on this variation, and it's called the Mangarini. I know the name, I just didn't know it was this line. Okay, so I was completely losing. Now let's go through it once again. This was fine, and then this was fine, and this was fine, and this was fine. And in this position I should have gone queen a5. This is the only move to stay equal. And on d5, wow, okay, d5, queen c3. Okay, so not d5. Most people play knight f3. Do I not take on c3 again? Why not? Bishop d2, why am I losing? I don't even understand why I'm losing. Oh, the queen is trapped. Okay, I didn't see that. So e6 now. Bishop b5, and apparently now I'm just up a pawn and we have a relatively normal game. I can continue developing. Okay, so now I know. Instead of e6, I go queen e5. Whew, whew. Okay, thank you guys for watching. I still don't understand how I had 91% accuracy when I was completely busted. So, yeah. Thank you. Stay tuned for more chess. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.